Hi everyone! My name is Ocean and welcome to my new YouTube channel, Ocean Waves Tarot. Happy to have you here and happy to be here. In today's pick a card reading, we're going to be diving into what people love about you, what they love, appreciate, and admire about you. This is a timeless reading, so you don't have to be watching this video right when it was uploaded in order for these messages to be relevant. As long as there is a pile here that you feel intuitively drawn to, there may be a message for you in this reading. Feel free to pick different piles if you're drawn to multiple or if you're not really sure if a certain pile is for you. There's no true right or wrong way to do this, just do whatever feels right to you. And lastly, a disclaimer, this is a collective reading, so take what resonates and leave what doesn't. Tarot is definitely not here to bind anyone to a fate that they do not want. We all have free judgment or free will and our best judgment and our intuition, and those are going to be much more important in the end. Doing what feels right to you is always going to be more important in the end than what some random reader on YouTube has to say in your cards. Okay, now that all of that is out of the way, let's get started with your piles. So we have 4 piles here today for your appraisal. This is pile 1, 2, 3, and 4. And to help you pick a pile, I've also included these little star beads. These cute little beads that I will show you now. So for pile 1, we have this cute pink star. And for pile 2, we have this yellow star, lemonade star. For pile 3, we have this cream soda colored, kind of like a light green star. For pile 4, we have this light blue star, kind of an icy blue, grayish blue star. Feel free to take as long as you need to pick a pile. I'm going to zoom in a little bit and give you a couple of seconds to just take it in. And once you have chosen a pile or piles, I will see you at your reading. Hi pile 1! Welcome to your reading. This is for everyone who chose the light pastel pink star. Alright, so I've got a couple of cards pre-shuffled here. We'll also get into oracles after for some extra messages. But this blue card is going to be telling me the main theme of your reading, the main idea. And these other cards are going to be giving me all of the juicy details about what people love about you and appreciate and admire about you. So yeah, let's just get started. For your theme card, we have the moon in reverse. Interesting. We also have the 3 of coins, the 4 of cups, the 5 of wands in reverse, 4 of coins, Leo, 8 of cups in reverse, judgment, 7 of coins, and Aries. Wow, lots of fire in this pile. Okay, let's get these arranged so that they line up with our camera. Okay, I think that's good enough. So first of all, let's start with signs. We have Leo and Aries flanking these cards in the middle. So you could be a Leo or an Aries sun. You could also have notable fire placements in your chart. We also have, I don't think there's a sign associated with judgment, but we do have cups and coins. So that'll be water, earth, more coins and cups. Wands. I think the only thing we don't have here is swords. But you don't have to not have air in a chart or like not be an air sign for this to resonate. With this moon card here, we can have Pisces and maybe Cancer as well. But yeah, this is kind of an unusual pile. So the first thing I'll say with the moon in reverse here, pile 1, is that people really appreciate that you have nothing to hide. But your pile is, I say your pile is interesting because it's like, even though you have nothing to hide, you keep your cards pretty close to your chest, and you don't necessarily reveal things to people with this Four of Coins and Four of Cups here. I get the feeling that you have nothing to hide, but you know that you're entitled to your privacy. And I do think that a lot of people respectfully see you as a challenge. I get the energy that they see you as like a tough nut to crack or some sort of puzzle to solve. And the fact that you're very hard for them to read or hard for them to figure out makes you really attractive. I'm not gonna lie. I think that some people even people who like think of themselves as like having good people sense or having good intuition about people, I feel like you are impenetrable in terms of just like your vibe or your aura. And it's like people can definitely tell that you're a good person, and you know, there's no doubt about that. But it's like, pile one, who are you? I also keep hearing the word quirky. So you may have been called that by your friends before, or have had that adjective ascribed to you. And not like cringe quirky, but like actually quirky, a little bit eccentric, but in a very charming and endearing kind of way. Yeah, what a contradictory read with like Leo, and with this Leo and Aries energy here. I get the feeling that you guys are pretty open. It's like you're open, but you're also closed. Like open and warm, and it like kind of magnetic and attractive to people. Like they love how generous you are, they love how hardworking you are, they love seeing you evolve. I just heard at a rapid pace. I think that kind of adds to the mystery, that they're like, how can this person, how does your brain work? And I do think that a big part of it is that you guys don't leave things unfinished. Unless it's like, you know, not worth working on. It's a lost cause, you sure. But I do think you guys are particularly resilient problem solvers, and that resilience and unwillingness to give up on something when you believe that you can fix it or believe that you can solve a problem, especially in the space of academia, but also just I keep hearing engineering. So some of you may be engineering STEM related majors, in which case, hey, yeah, STEM gang here. But that, like, the fact that you kind of slowly chip away at problems in a way that feels very methodical and focused and kind of intense is conducive to like learning quite a lot in a very short amount of time. So you guys could definitely be fast learners. I also see that you guys steer clear of drama, and I think that's another reason that people appreciate you. You may not really be into gossip or like, you know, toxic gossip. I think instead of like, pile one, do you know how some people always feel the need to be right, and they will kind of like argue themselves into a rabbit hole with someone else until the end of time? I feel like you guys are the opposite of that, and that you guys are very humble, and you know, there's a part of you that won't leave until a problem is solved. But when it comes to an argument that just is not worth it, you steer clear of drama. It's not your scene, it's not your vibe. You would rather, I just heard, coast in space. If any of you are Undertale fans, like I get kind of a Napstablook meditation kind of, like, you know that one scene, if you've never played Undertale, don't worry, but like that one scene when you're just chilling with Napstablook on the floor, vibing to music, and like just thinking about the universe. I feel like that's a little closer to your vibe, and that people find that pretty cool. I think this is a pretty chill pile. It's funny because I do get an intense vibe from you, like intense in your goals and the focus that you have, but that you're also pretty relaxed. I think because, at least in other people's eyes, you definitely have a good sense of what's truly important to you and what really matters to you, and like how to best spend. It's like, you know what you're not gonna waste your time on, and you know what needs your time. So, damn, pile one. I think, so these cards are like telling me they're telling me a little bit about you, but they're also from the perspective of like other people looking at you. So this, in some senses, this could also be a friend if you're like hearing some of this and you're like, I don't know if I'm hardworking. I do think you guys are though, whether you realize it or not. I do hear that, like, respectfully, like some of you may set like really high standards for yourself, and that's why it can be kind of difficult to, it's like if you, it's like that cliche phrase where like aim for the, wait, what was it, aim for the moon, land among the stars. I think this is a situation where you want to shoot for the moon and you're landing in the stars and people are like, oh my god, pile one, you're among the stars, you're a superstar. But that, like, the goalpost may be the moon, and so there's, I think, this energy of like falling short of your goals and being, yeah, there's a little bit of perfectionism in here too, where maybe you don't see yourself like, yeah, yeah, there is some I wish they could see what I see in them energy here as well, because I think you guys are just so focused on your goals that that like continuously reaching for like improvement and goalposts, it's, people see you as like that work ethic as really, really inspiring, pile one. And maybe, I mean, it's, you're right, easier said than done, right, to like appreciate ourselves and how far we've come, but you really are inspiring others with your growth and evolution and journey. I also just heard ride or die. I do think that others see you as a ride or die friend. They feel like you're definitely very reliable, but also kind of like the designated driver of your friend group, where people love having you around because you're like the voice of reason. I think there is a part of you that's a little bit on the, like with this Four of Coins here, a little on the conservative side when it comes to, like, you're not gonna, if you see that your friend has had a little bit too much, you will stop them, right? Like, you'll be the one to say, hey friend, you know, this is like this is your last drink. You've had a lot. I don't think you should have any more. And I also get the feeling that you're not really the kind of person who gives a shit about whether or not people think you're like a party pooper, because you're kind of, you're out here saving lives with your sensible, reasonable, caring nature. And I do hear that you kind of laugh it off, like in a kind of maybe a sarcastic way, like, yeah, excuse me for not wanting to let you die of alcohol poisoning or something. But yeah, I could pile on. I could definitely also see you being med students with this three of coins here and the seven of coins. I definitely think at least half of my pile ones are very well suited to academia, or if not academia, just like being lifelong students and the, I guess, the art of learning or studying or mentorship. Some of you could also be teachers, and that makes sense to me given that you seem to have pretty good boundaries. You don't, I'm hearing that you don't, when it comes to like people that you work with, you don't really focus on yourself. You focus on the mission and the goal. But it's like, even so, especially with this Leo card here, like your presence is felt throughout the room. And I think it's because you don't make everything about yourself when you don't have to, that you have earned like so much respect in the eyes of others. I think some people wish they were as focused and smart as you, pile one. This is really cool. Yeah, I hear that some people are just fascinated by you. So this could also be, I just heard researcher, so you guys could be conducting some sort of research or a statistics related project, studies, surveys. I also just heard driving society forwards. I'm not totally sure what that could mean. It could be like cutting edge technology research. It could also just be delivering packages to where they need to go, or like, I do get a very strong academic vibe here, student vibe. Yeah, a lot of you might be students. If you are students, I feel like your teachers like you. Teachers love to have students like you. And yeah, I'm just getting another confirmation from these cards that I think staying out of the spotlight allows you to better focus on your goals and getting shit done. I also just heard trooper. Like, you guys are troopers, pile one. I also got what sounds like kind of a specific message of like gym hottie. So if you guys are the athletic type, I would not be surprised in the least if like people saw you at the gym and they're like, oh my god, who is that? Like I gotta, you know, not only do you look so good, pile one, but I also feel like you're the kind of person who just looks like, you know, projects this, or sorry, not you projecting, but in the eyes of others, like that you put out this image of working so hard and you make people feel like, oh my god, I gotta step it up, I'm not doing enough. Maybe that's why you kind of stay out of the spotlight these days, pile one. Or like I don't know if you've always been like that, but I did just hear that people do compare themselves to you, and that has been like a little bit exhausting in the past. So you've found that it's better to just like avoid the spotlight and avoid drama, because you can shine in your own way. And I hear Spirit saying that you are in the spotlight, but it's a different kind of spotlight, that you're shining in your own world and your own universe, whether you know it or not. And that all these seeds that you're planting now, and the seeds of your hard work, are gonna come to fruition. I'm sorry, I guess that's not super related to what people love about you. They do love your hardworking nature and stuff, but yeah, just another message coming in that like these little seeds here with like a dandelion and some other stuff, these are gonna sprout into a bouquet, metaphorically. Just a beautiful bouquet of flowers. And also just a literal message here. Sunflowers may be relevant to you in some way. Maybe your favorite flower is a sunflower. I'm not totally sure how to interpret that, but I'm just going to put it out there. Maybe it'll be like extra confirmation that this is your pile. I think that's about all I'm seeing for your tarot cards. So let's move on to doing oracles. I feel like this Aries and Leo, these Aries and Leo cards are really staring me in the face, so I'm gonna leave these here. Okay. I'm in reverse. All right. Oh, whoops. I feel like I was a broken record about saying that you guys were hardworking, because it's true. But I was talking about like light or star earlier, like just a second ago. That star is like a star of passion and a star of dedication, consistency, resilience, and also creativity, like hugely creative. Some of you may be art teachers? Artists? I don't get a huge artist vibe from this pile. You certainly could be a creative, but I do get a pile of like, I do get a feeling of mentorship. Yeah, art teacher feels very specific. Art teacher, language arts teacher, art teacher. Anyway, let's see what your oracles have to say. Spirit. What else do people love about pile one? What else do people love and admire about pile one? I just heard everyone wants to be you. It is admirable, though. It takes a lot of grit and dedication and commitment to constantly, like, keeping up the grind and the hustle. Right, Spirit, what else? What other messages do we have for pile one? It usually doesn't take this long for cards to fall out. Yeah, you guys are private. Are you okay with me reading your cards? Well, Spirit, whatever I'm allowed to know. Oh, there we go. Okay. Yeah, refract and wholeness. Yeah, pile one, you're the whole package. This is big world card energy. this completion energy. People see you as the whole package, the whole shebang. You're smart, you're dedicated and committed. Like you've got you're humble. It's like the deadly trifecta, like sorry, I think that has a negative connotation, but it's like the, humility, dedication, and commitment to working hard, smarts, talent, like, yeah, passion. I just heard there's a lot of meaning behind your motivations, and so that may definitely be one reason why you work so hard, because it's for a cause, it's for something that you care about, and something that's very, very important to you, and that you think should be important in this, to, I guess, work towards in this world. With this refract card, that is very interesting. I think people have so much fun with you, like bouncing their ideas off of you, where, think of like a little crystal prism, and someone is like shining a light into it, and then that light refracts into a beautiful, rainbow. I feel like when people interact with you, I just heard sunshine and rainbows. I also just heard polish. What am I trying to say? It's like when someone bounces their ideas off of you, suddenly that idea, that like white light, gets split into a rainbow. So it's like, not only can you, like, are you really good at breaking down ideas or like analyzing ideas, but you also, I just heard sell them. Like you're really good at selling an idea to someone, or or like helping someone believe in the value of their ideas, if that makes sense. Someone who thought, oh, I mean, I don't think this is that great, but like, I was thinking of doing this and this, and you're like, maybe, for example, you could be like, oh yeah, I think that's a great idea because, think about how this could affect blah 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 from this angle, and it's also like really convenient because you can blah 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 from this angle, and it's more efficient than blah 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 because you can blah 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 and blah blah blah. Here are all of the pros and like minimal cons to this idea. Blah blah blah. Here's my opinion. Like I just heard your opinion is a rainbow. So like having a good analytical breakdown of something, but also being able to present it in a way that is very loving and supportive. I think, Pile One, you, no wonder people are drawn to you. I bet someone has a crush on you, because it's like, I guess it's like you keep private. You're like this mysterious, like smart person, but you lift people up and you make them feel a lot better about themselves, and it comes from like a place of kindness and love, and I think that's great. I think people also, I say place of kindness and love, but I also think people love that you keep it real with them. So like you might get a lot of people asking you for advice because they know they'll get an honest take from you. They know you to be objective. It's not like this, I guess, like, oh, you're only saying it's good because you're my mom kind of situation. It's like you know your shit, and you're not gonna like try to be nice just to make someone happy. Especially like if it's, I do get kind of a businessy vibe, like a businessy academia, like some sort of collective energy. Maybe you guys have fans or a platform or something. What was I saying earlier? But yeah, it's like you guys don't sugarcoat, but you're also not mean or anything. It's just you tell it like how it is, and I think people trust you as more like a consult. Like they consult you for your genuine opinion, and they like hold your opinions in high esteem because they're just really, really good and sensible and grounded, and also like informed by quite a lot of experience because, like I said, you guys work hard as shit, and please Pile One, please take a spa day or something, or like go get like your favorite milkshake. I think you guys deserve really good things. I forgot to pull from this oracle, so let's do that now. Was there anything else I was feeling from here? These little things kind of remind me of like popcorn, and now I'm like hearing like little pops in my head, and this nice like ASMR, like gentle frying pan noises. So maybe you guys are really good cooks too. And I just heard Cupid, so maybe someone has fallen in love with you. Take this as it resonates, but maybe someone has fallen in love with you head over heels because like you're a really good cook. Like that was the breaking point for them. They're like, oh god, I love Pile One. I'm gonna tell all my friends about Pile One. And then for some reason I imagine you kind of like shying away, like, yeah, that's okay. Let's try to get away from attention. Oh, secret. Wow, if that ain't a confirmation, I don't know what is. Seed and the lion. What? Yeah, this is big Leo energy. I meant to draw one, but we got a lot. I think these are definitely confirming what we got earlier with the seeds. Like I was talking about, like the 7 of coins, which is all about planting seeds, sowing seeds for them to grow. Yeah, yeah, this is a little wild. Okay, well, let me get the booklet for these oracles, and we will read them to conclude your reading. Okay. Okay, this is a little spooky. Alright, we'll start with the lion, number 39. Keywords: courage, fierce, awakening, being self-assured, yeah, and bringing ideas to life. Yeah, I was talking about the prism thing lately, right? I think that's a really good way to word it. I'm sorry. That you bring other people's ideas to life, and you know, make no mistake, like it's because your ideas are like boom boom pow, explosive, like brain blast. The season for the lion is autumn. Astrological association is, of course, Leo, the sun. Okay, power one. It is time to harness your power. The lion is self-assured, quick, and hopeful until the last moment. Lion is asking you to bring your ideas to life, whatever they may be. Part of being successful is going for what you want and staying the course, even if you feel you're swimming upstream. That is like literally 8 of cups in reverse, plus 7 of coins energy. Wow. If you don't feel courage is a strong suit of yours, just fake it. It's okay to be uncomfortable, and once you start forging your own way, you'll begin to feel self-assured in your actions. There is a fierceness that lion offers. This can be a stubbornness, feeling very protective over your ideas, friends, and family, or just feeling a fire to get something done. Use these qualities to your advantage and bring your ideas into reality. With lion by your side, you can do what you set out to do. One caveat of lion is that you need to be in charge of your actions and path. You won't do well taking too much direction from others, so keep that in mind. Yeah, I do get a big director energy. Like, people come to you for advice. It's not usually the other way around. Or it's more commonly like, you know, they come to the king, gender neutral king. If you want advice or help, ask for it, but know that you're capable to be in charge of yourself and of those helping you. You are able to bring your vision to life, and you don't have to compromise. An affirmation: I am free to live as I wish and give priority to my dreams. Ooh, I love that. Okay, secret 67. Okay, secret. Shadow, taboo, embrace negative space, smoke, mystery, non-rational thought, reach for the moon. Wait, you're... Astrological association is Venus, which rules, I believe Taurus and Libra. Okay. Osiris, Isis's husband, was killed by a jealous god, Set. To make sure that Isis wouldn't this is a famous story. To make sure that Isis wouldn't resurrect Osiris with her magic, as this was a power she had, Set cut Osiris's body into 14 pieces and scattered it across Egypt. But Isis had remarkable determination and power. Who else has remarkable determination and power? A wink wonk. She gathered his body and brought him back to life.
I am simplifying this myth to bring from it what I feel is Isis's gift, her ability to turn a situation around and to transmute bad circumstances into good ones. She uses an opportunity to her advantage, giving an archetype of empowerment. She is a goddess of magic, and if she has come into your hands today, she's asking you to use your gifts to create the life that you want. She's reminding you that you can change any situation and bring to life what may feel out of reach or is something you've forgotten is already within you. I'm sorry, this is kind of a mess. Okay, is that like a little bit better? I don't have a monitor for my screen, so I have to kind of like get up out of my chair to check how things look on camera. Bear with me. Next we have 46 Seed. Inspire. Yeah! Pile on, you're an inspiration. Inspire, adventure, heat, pluck. Heat? Yeah, fire signs. Pluck, optimistic, limit, truth-seeking, and grow. Herbal ally rose, crystal ally clear quartz. Flora, the goddess of spring and of flowers, upon discovering the body of her most beloved nymph, is said to have asked all the gods to change the body of the nymph into the most beautiful flower, which would be recognized as queen of all flowers. Apollo, god of the arts, gave the nymph the breath of life. Bacchus? I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. Bacchus bathed her in nectar. Vertumnus, I'm sorry if I don't pronounce these right. Vertumnus gave her fragrance, and Pomona gave her fruit, rose hips. Finally, Flora herself gave a crown of petals, and the rose was born. What is life giving to you? Where do you find inspiration? What limits have you unknowingly placed on yourself? Seed beckons a time of growth and inspiration. This time will be marked with adventure, optimism, and boundary pushing. You are able to transform your thoughts into concrete action. Your curiosity will be a help in doing this and achieving your goals. You also need to be in touch with the world, traveling, interacting with others, and exploring. You don't have to be serious to be effective. Sometimes humor, laughter, and playfulness are the missing pieces to growth. Affirmation: I am powerful in so many ways. Alright, pile one. I am going to read this prompt and we will finish up your reading. So, here's my completely optional, no pressure homework for you. Do one thing each week that is a small challenge and something new for you. Try this for a month and reflect on what you notice. Some ideas could be reading a book for pleasure, trying a new recipe, calling a friend out of the blue, going for a walk or hike, sending a handwritten letter to a loved one, or explore. This could be anything. That sounds fun. Alright, pile one, I think with that we conclude your reading. Thank you so much for watching and supporting my channel in its infancy, my little babby channel. I haven't really thought of an outro yet. But if this reading resonated with you, I would love to hear how. I would love to hear if like any of you are Leos or have like strong Leo placements or Aries placements in your chart. Or like we also had a Pisces Cancer. If you enjoyed this reading, I would love it if you could leave a like. That helps me out quite a lot. I would also love to have you here if you want to subscribe, but don't feel pressured. And if it feels right, I hope to see you again in another one of my upcoming readings. But until then, pile one, I'm wishing you all the best. Stay safe and take care. Bye! Hi pile two! Welcome to your reading. This is for anyone who chose the... For any of you who chose the lemonade star. Haha. I've pre-shuffled a couple of cards for you guys. This blue card is gonna be the TLDR, the main idea of the main theme of your reading, of like what people love about you. And the rest of these cards are gonna be giving me all of the juicy details. So yeah, let's just get started. For our theme card, we have the World in reverse. Also got the King of Cups. Wowza. Page of Swords in reverse. Death in reverse. the Magician, 7 of Wands in reverse, 7 of Swords, oh, 2 sevens, Page of Cups, Justice, and the Queen of Coins in reverse. Okay, cool. Let me just rearrange these real quick for the camera. Okay, so pile 2. As soon as I drew this world card in reverse, I was shown a really cute fairy cottage, like in the, in the fields in some sort of Scandinavian countryside like you see on Pinterest. And that makes me wonder if, are you guys fairies? Is this my fairy pile? You might work with fairies, or maybe that aesthetic is something that you find very appealing. I also get a very strong sense of it, like killer sense for aesthetics in this pile. But we will get into that a little bit later, because first I want to talk about how safe people feel around you, pile 2. If I called you pile 1, I apologize. With this King of Cups here and some of these other cards, I feel like you give off a very calm, grounded, serene kind of vibe. And even if, like your house is on fire, when people are with you, they feel like it's gonna be okay. Also, with this World in Reverse card, I'm getting that when people are with you, they feel like they're being almost like spirited away, which is sort of why, which may be why, like, I saw that little fairy cottage or something. It's like you whisk people away from everything that they hate about themselves, is what I just heard. I feel like you also bring people into a safe space where they feel like they can truly be themselves without feeling judged or defensive, or like fearing that someone is going to be like really condescending towards them. With this Queen of Coins in reverse, I was getting that it's like they feel like they don't have to present this stiff image of having all of their shit together when they're around you. And that's because, not only are you just a really kind and empathetic and emotionally mature person, you also have quite a lot of perspective with this Justice card, which is associated with Libra. And I think quintessential Libra energy always has a lot of perspective. I feel that you guys definitely go out of your way to try to understand others and to listen to others. And with this Page of Swords in reverse, people really appreciate that you are a really good listener, pile 2. And with the 7 of Wands in reverse, I could see you guys being, I could see some of my pile 2s being social workers, or maybe people working in healthcare, or some sort of or like with a nonprofit, some sort of organization that promotes like inner healing or emotional healing. Because with this card, I just keep hearing that like you've helped in someone's recovery before, or that you've helped convince someone to take steps towards their own recovery, which is amazing and wonderful. And I would not be surprised, pile 2, if you've saved lives before and you didn't even know it. Also, looking at this Magician here, I just heard, I feel like I can do anything when I'm with you, which is so sweet. And I think that's very true, that with this sort of grounded energy, like, not only do people feel like they can be around, like they can be themselves around you, they also feel like they can be more than what they thought they could be, if that makes sense. Like, with this, going back to this World card, with the World in reverse, it's like I said, spirited away. It's like you take them to a different kind of space, or a different frame of mind, where they don't think so hard about like everything that they don't like about themselves. And with this Death in reverse too, I think just this is like an all-rounder, completely safe space that you create for people. And that doesn't mean that you're not capable of delineating your own boundaries when things go too far. But I feel like, pile 2, you guys tend to attract people who have a chip on their shoulder, who have been through a lot, who have a lot of healing to do. And of course, it's not your responsibility to promote that healing, unless it's like your job to. But I do get the feeling that you guys kind of naturally gravitate towards being a comforting presence, almost like a little giving someone a place of rest when they've been like so busy beating themselves up for the most innocent things, or that we pick ourselves apart to the bone, and it's like you give them a space to just relax and give themselves a little bit of self-care. So I wonder if some of you maybe I'm getting a big like crafter energy, like knitting, it could be also be sewing or little handicrafts, resin crafts. I'm seeing like a lot of small miniature objects, so it could be like mini sculptures, or that I'm also getting nail tech. So some of you could do work with nails and like with the little like the glitter stars that they use to decorate their nails and just make them look really pretty. You don't have to be a nail tech. Maybe you're just like into nails. Take it as it resonates. But I do get that you guys have a really sweet, delicate touch, a killer instinct for good aesthetics, and that's also why like people are quite drawn to you. They may feel like the work that you create or the crafts or the art that you create is very healing to them. Yeah, maybe that's why there's like this energy of fish swimming to you. It doesn't quite feel codependent though. It definitely feels healthy. I think what people love about you is how much perspective you have, just what a really cool, relaxed, chill, understanding, knowledgeable person you are, but also how fun you are. Also how fun you are, and a little bit mischievous you are. I think that I just heard you that you make healing fun, or that you make life more fun, because it's like not only are you a warm blanket on a cold winter's day, you're also just really funny. And some of you may also, I just heard, have a kind of capricious, silly sense of humor, which really helps to feel people more safe and kind of helps to disarm them, because it's like you were trustworthy to begin with, but it's nothing like a good laugh to that helps people to let their guard down around someone who it's like they can sense is truly safe to be around, but that they just may not necessarily be ready to open up to. With this King of Cups, I think another reason why people are so inclined to open up to you is because you've gone through a lot. And can you guys hear that siren outside? So yeah, they're synchronicity. I hope they're okay. Some of you could be EMTs, like literally out there saving lives. And I'm sorry, those sirens made me a little nervous. I hope everyone's okay. But yeah, it's because you've done the work and been through so much and really have evolved quite a bit that it feels like it is both the product of very hard work, but it also kind of comes naturally to you to have a lot of empathy and understanding for other people and their feelings and emotions and like where they come from, all different walks of life. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of you are quite well traveled. And yeah, there's something kind of delicate about this pile. And by delicate, I don't necessarily mean frail. I mean very gentle, kind of capricious, and neither here nor there. Whimsical. Whimsical is the word that I was looking for. That you guys are... Yeah, I think that's why I'm getting fairy energy from this pile. And just so you know, these cards tell me how people see you. So it's not necessarily a reflection of like who you feel like you are, but I feel that people do kind of see you as this. When I say fairy, it's not I don't mean that derogatorily in any way. It's more like, you are someone who is so fun and spunky and spontaneous and like can work magic and make magic happen, and just someone who is really really cool and kind of disarming and chill, and someone who is like, I'm sorry, I think I'm gonna wait till these sirens pass. Okay, where was I? These messages are funny because in a way you're very, very calm, very grounded, business as usual. Even if your house is on fire, it's like, okay, this is just another obstacle to life and I can handle it just like I handle everything else. One reason why I may be getting such a capricious, kind of whimsical, I say grounded, but at the same time it's kind of ungrounded too, where did I already say it's kind of like you're neither here nor there? It's like a little fairy flitting around, a very calming presence. Maybe it's because there's a lot of air here. So let me do signs real quick. The Magician would be Gemini. Justice is Libra. We have coins, cups, swords, and wands. So, you know, all signs are in play. And oh my gosh. But we do have a lot of swords and air here. You could also be an Aquarius, or a Pisces. I just heard ethereal. So I think pile two, I think people think you're so beautiful, and it's the kind of beauty that is ethereal, like a Jimin from BTS kind of ethereal. um oh yeah, don't some fans call Jimin like fairy Jimin because he's got that oh, Jimin is a Libra too. But anyway, it's like that kind of energy. If you're familiar with BTS, if you know about Jimin, this pile is in that energy of like someone that you feel so safe around, that people adore. You are beautiful and ethereal, clearly very talented and artistic. Very good at being like having a delicate touch. I'm still getting nail tech, so maybe a lot of my pile twos do nails. I'm not totally sure. Or maybe one of your good friends or like a loved family member does nails. I do feel that when people look at you, they see your refined aesthetic and they think, wow, you know, this is so lovely. It's like a Pinterest mood board. And I also just heard, how are you real? Pile two. How are you real? Yeah, I get that you guys are really sweet and all of the other good adjectives that I have mentioned before. And also, like, going back to how people feel like they don't need to have their shit together around you and that they'll be. It's like you see people for who they are. And there's a kind of non committal energy about you where I feel like people also don't feel pressured to. Pressured to like enter into some kind of intense relationship with you, if that makes sense. I really do feel, even reading this pile, I feel very relaxed. And if you guys do nails, I'm gonna hire you to do my nails. But if you don't, you know, take it as it resonates. You do not have to be a nail tech for this pile to resonate. I do get an unusually like strong crafter energy. So like I could totally see some of you having a little booth at a little local like artist market or farmers market, or you know how they have those little booths set up and you have people making like beautiful floral wreaths or little charms and things like that. I could, or like little hand sewn dolls or little paper crafts, origami, like garlands and such things. I could see a lot of my pile twos being in that kind of space of yeah, I do feel also a very strong independent vibe from this pile. You guys could be small business owners. You don't have to be for this pile to resonate. I do get that it's funny because people are really drawn to you, pile two, for like, you know, the fun and the healing and all the good that you bring to the table. But I also feel like you guys work really well alone as well, which could factor into like the whole, you know, intense focus when you're making stuff. But yeah, I think that is all I'm seeing for your tarot cards. Oh, you're also a really good listener, which makes complete sense given that like you're having perspective seems to other people to be very important to you, and like being empathetic and understanding in the capacity, within capacity, you know, however much is healthy for you, and then, you know, you draw boundaries outside of that. But I'll end the tarot section of this read by saying that another thing that people find really attractive about you is that it's like they can't catch you. You know, when I keep thinking about fairies, I don't know why, but it's that kind of fluttering here and there, kind of like a butterfly as well, that they're trying to like catch with a net, but they just can't. And I think this came up in another pile too, where some people find that a little bit enticing, like the challenge or the chase. I get the feeling that even though your energy is not loud, so to speak, I know we've got Gemini here, but I do feel like that that your vibe is like more on the relaxed side. It's not super intense or intimidating unless you want to be. Like, you're the kind of person that people will definitely feel like really scared of if you get mad, because you guys don't seem to get mad all that often. It's like, you know, if we piss Pile too often, ugh, like, we've really fucked up. It's the vibe I get. And yeah, so this is kind of a side thing. It's not completely relevant to like what people love about you, but I just wanted to include a little message from Spirit that if you've started a little baby project, or have some sort of creative project that you've got underway or that you're brainstorming, Spirit says don't give up on that, because it's worth pursuing. Definitely don't give up on that. I mean, unless you want to give up on it, but it's Spirit sees like a lot of value in what you have to create and give, and like how to in the way that you're manifesting your creative visions in the world. Spirit really wants you to like take all of those unpolished diamonds and put them out into the world. So yeah, just a little message of encouragement. If you are working on a creative project, like, definitely see it through. It's gonna be good, I think. We've got the Magician here too, so definitely a very powerful like manifestation energy happening if you're into that. But yeah, I think that's all I'm seeing here. So let's move on to oracles. Magician and King of Cups. I'm gonna keep these two out. Oh, I meant to say this earlier too. If any of you have ever seen Kiki's Delivery Service from Studio Ghibli, it's okay if you haven't, but it's just a movie about like a little witch, and it's like a coming of age story. That part when Kiki visits the the artist in the woods, I was like shown that scene in my mind. I can't remember it super well, but I do think that when people spend time with you, in a way, it feels like a healing retreat to them. Almost like a little, yeah, like a little cottage in the woods or in some random Scandinavian field. Your presence is like a brief respite from like the evils of the world, pile two. So I think you've got a lot to take pride in. So I'm gonna shuffle some oracles for you just to see if we have any more relevant messages for your pile. Hey, pile two. I am filming this a day and a half or so later because I lost the original recording that I did of like shuffling your oracles, and now I've got a funny and kind of spooky story for you. So stay tuned if you'd like to hear about it. I will include that at the very end. But I have cleansed this space with a bit of bay leaf, and these were the cards that originally popped out when I shuffled you last time. So I'm gonna try to recreate the rest of the reading and just remember as much as I could about the energies present in these cards. So if I'm remembering correctly, you guys were kind of like the fairy pile, right? Or the cottage core healer light worker pile, if you don't mind me saying. So I remember the oracles that you got were largely a confirmation of everything else that I had said previously in the reading. With this, and especially with this support card, and we had sirens blaring yesterday too, right? So, or I mean, I'm sorry, I know you guys are like watching this all at the same time, but for me it was yesterday. And I remember in these cards that a lot of gratitude came through for you. Just so much gratitude and appreciation for everything that you've done. I don't know if I already said this, but all of the windows that you've opened for people, doors that you opened to healing. I think you were able to provide a lot of insight into people's feelings, and that they didn't really know how to process for themselves in the moment yet. Like, we feel all sorts of things, but it's very difficult to define them and to gain insight into them if you have never done that before. And that I'm still getting that with this name it card right here, and this card says grow here. With this name it card here, I think that people feel like you gave them a means to put a label or to name what they were feeling or to define what they were feeling, and in turn, in those terms, better define their own healing journey or path to healing. I'm also getting the opposite feeling from this name it card, where I hear when they first met you, it was difficult for them to put a label on you because you didn't really fit any of the molds or archetypes that they were familiar with. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense. This is the unicorn pile, in so to speak, in terms of the way that people saw you as just so unique and such a blessing. I did get a really strong EMT vibe yesterday. I can't remember if the sirens came before or like during the oracle reading, but We had like a couple of ambulances drive by. That synchronicity honestly kind of worries me. But yes, just very intense gratitude coming through. I remember hearing like, thank you so much for everything that you've done for me. Like, you saved my life, you saved my life, you saved my life. So many of you could have possibly had a background in healthcare, or I keep hearing EMT, but I'm not sure where that's coming from. I know it's not going to resonate with all of you, but I'm going to put that out there anyway, that someone out there wants to thank you. And they're also saying, you know, don't feel guilty or like you didn't do enough. You did do enough, and you did like the best that you could for me. You did everything that you could for me, and I can't thank you enough. Like, I want to give, like, I wish you the I wish you the world, and I feel blessed to have had your support. I'm also hearing that you, in a literal sense, helped people get over, or not get over, get over. That you helped people let go of a lot of things that they had been harboring inside themselves, and that could be strongly related to this name it card, where it's like once you have recognized it and defined it, it becomes easier to deal with it, or easier to unpack it and unlearn it in some cases. In the previous recording, I wonder, I'm not trained in mediumship, but I do wonder if this pile could be, if these cards could also be referencing, like if there was someone that came to mind as I was reading these cards, like who's on the other side. This, I don't know, but this could be a message from them, I'm not sure. I'll show you like a clip of the original footage that I showed my friends in a like an embarrassing freak out, like, oh my god, like, take a look at this clip, oh my god, it's not just me seeing this, right? Unfortunately, that like tiny clip of the original recording is all I have, which is kind of, it's weird. I don't know how it disappeared. I must have been a dingus and just deleted it carelessly. But it's really weird because I always double check my videos to make sure that, you know, I don't delete anything on accident, especially footage that has not been, you know, like fully edited yet or put together. Like, I still need to edit that footage for a video I haven't put out yet. I'm sorry. I got off on a tangent, but we'll get to that stuff later. As for this grow here card, yeah, I think I already gave the plant analogy. I did read the booklet for these two cards, but I felt like it was slightly redundant, so I may not do that this time. And it felt like, because these cards are coming from the perspective of your person or your people or your circle, it's also sort of directed at the way that they saw you, as like a support or as a lifeline. Lifeline also came to mind. I remember hearing like, you helped me when no one else did, or you know, take it as it resonates. Or also like, you helped me when you didn't have to, or you were emotionally available in a way that like I had never experienced before. Yeah, there was another sobering message where like, pile 2, you made this person or these people or like whoever you've it feels like one person, it doesn't have to be romantic, but you made them feel loved in a way that they had never felt before. Loved and appreciated in a way that they like didn't really feel was possible. It could be romantic, but it doesn't have to be, especially like because there's such a strong therapist energy in this pile. You know, platonic love also perfectly viable. I may have said this already, but I also get the message or the energy that being with you kind of felt like a spa day or some sort of like treat yourself day. That being with you is such a treat. So if there was some sort of artistic endeavor, it could have been nails, it could have been crafts, some sort of like hands-on project. It could also be pottery, but something that I feel like you were, this feels like a specific person now, but it felt more collective earlier, which is funny. Yeah, if you guys ever worked together on some kind of, yeah, art project or something, I feel like they wanted, they're sending you a lot of gratitude, and this is kind of what I ended the reading with previously, that first of all, I said that I felt honored to read your cards because I feel like you are a hero. You were and are a hero to someone, and that the world is better off having people like you here. Anyway, I'm sorry if this isn't too coherent, but I keep seeing like two people seated at what looks kind of like a pottery table, but it doesn't have to be pottery. It's some kind of like small craft, and I just hear like, you know, it set me free, or that maybe thanks to you that someone else was able to pick up on and find an outlet for their own struggles and issues that they were dealing with, like an outlet to channel all of that into something productive and creative and therapeutic. Okay, I said reading the booklet would be redundant, but yeah, I have changed my mind. So let me finish off this reading by reading about let go and support. I do think that those were all of the messages that I previously... I'm pretty sure that is most of it, if not all of it. Okay, so let go. Moving between realms, right? With the spirited away, or I'm sorry if I'm not using that correctly. All I mean is that like this, you took this. It's like you plucked this person out of their own horrible reality and placed them in a safe space where they could heal. Much like the analogy of planting a seed in a nice pot, like in fertile soil. Moving between realms, balancing on a wire. Increase in power, seeing at night, and loosening your grip. There is such a thing as holding too tightly. Instead of trying to forcibly control something, just let it be. If you keep your firm grip, you'll be tiring yourself out needlessly, and you're also likely to be wounded. You are a very strong force right now, and you may not even be aware that you've been holding so tightly. Try to relax your jaw and take a few deep breaths. You have a strong sense of purpose, and it's easy to try to make something work when it's clearly not. Things that are aligned with your purpose will flow naturally. If you find yourself forcing something, then that's probably not the thing for you. This may also be a loosening of a grip on an interpersonal level. Are there people that just don't seem to fit in your life right now? Do you find yourself convincing yourself to do something out of obligation, see someone out of obligation? While sometimes we need to do these things, right now you're being asked to let go of those expectations. Alternately, are you expecting things from those around you and they're just not delivering or showing up? There will be someone who will, and you won't have to convince them. Sometimes friendships and relationships end, and that's okay. It's just a normal part of life. Just remember, you should never have to convince someone to show you love or be there for you. If you are, it is time to move on. As for the affirmation, today I will let things unfold without worrying about the significance of each event. I am good enough just as I am. Very true. And then we have support. I am good enough just as I am hits different for me for some reason. So that could also be from the way that people see you, that again, in keeping with the whole theme, that you helped them to see a side of themselves that they, I guess, had not seen in a while because they were too focused on hating themselves or seeing everything about themselves that they didn't like, that they forgot to appreciate what they did like about themselves and just didn't know or had forgotten. Okay, 45. Okay. Yeah, this one was the one that was aimed straight at you. So, letting yourself be seen, accepting help, sharing, community, spending time with loved ones, and comfort. I think that, oh yeah, that didn't even occur to me earlier. Yeah, in the way that you've been such a healer, Pile 2, you have an uncanny ability to, like, I guess kind of a disarming presence that helps people to let their guard down and let themselves be seen, like this book is saying. And I think it's because you come from a place with such good intentions and love and authenticity that, you know, they recognize that and they see that, and that's why they feel so safe. I'll just read this. Everyone needs help sometimes. Let more support into your life. What has stopped you from asking for help when you've needed it? The people who love you want to help you in the ways you need, but they won't know how unless you ask. Being vulnerable can be scary, but that's okay. The comfort of support is waiting for you. When someone offers you support, take it. If someone is offering, then they know they want to help, and you don't have to question it more than that. People aren't meant to thrive alone. Do you feel you have a community that supports you? If yes, spend time with these people. Allow yourself to be seen, really seen, when you're with them. If you don't feel you have this in your life yet, then know it's coming soon. Sometimes you have to put yourself out there to have the relationships you want. No one can do it all by themselves. Support gives you strength. Don't be afraid to lean on someone else. Affirmation: I ask for and receive the support I need. Alright, pile 2, and with that, I will let you interpret those messages as you like. So yeah, spooky story time. So I recorded about 20 minutes of footage here, and I actually got a save error when I tried to save the whole video, which turned out to be a little bit over an hour. I just cut out all my stuttering and awkwardness. So anyway, I managed to save the video, but I had to chop it up into 4 parts. And the 4th part, right when I'm talking about, you know, the gratitude, the good vibes, and hoping and praying that like all of your dreams come true, like just then my camera glitched and there was this sort of flashing light that I'm gonna show you now. If you have epilepsy or photosensitivity, I do ask that you look away because it is sort of a flashing light and I just want everyone to be safe. I would say it's a little more on the subtle side of flashing, but I just don't want to take any risks, so please do be safe. There is also kind of a crackling noise in the background that is difficult to place. And my last disclaimer is that I sent this to my friends while I was really freaking out, like, oh my gosh, what is that? I didn't notice any lights flickering. What's going on with this recording and this timing? And so I just, slight screaming warning, if you've got headphones on, you might want to take those off too. But yeah, here are the tiny pieces that I've salvaged from the recording. I think it's not just me saying this. I think a lot of other people have also prayed and have like sent gratitude your way, and that they hope that all of the good energy that you've put out into the world will return to you tenfold.
Oh, did you see that? I'll show it to you again. I edited it so like it plays once and then it plays again slowed down. Ooh! If you were looking away, it's safe to watch again. One thing I do want to say is that once I slowed down the flashing, I noticed that it flashed 5 times. So maybe I could be just reading into this too much, but 5 could be a very significant number to you or have some really special meaning to you. Maybe you've been seeing 555 a lot on your clocks. And I believe in numerology, 5 is the number of transition, of volatility, of instability, of change, of going through the motions. It's right in the middle of the tarot sequence because tarot starts from 1, or the aces, and it ends at 10 in the, at least in the minor arcana in the suits. Basically, it's like the middle of the road journey, the middle of the journey. And we got the Justice card in your pile, right? I'm pretty sure we got the Justice card, and I do want to point out that that is also number 11, which is... wait, is it 11? I'm pretty sure it's 11. But anyway, the Justice card is also right smack dab in the middle of the major arcana, which would be 22 cards. It's right in the middle of the majors and minors, so this could point to you being in a very transitory period of your life, or it could be some other message that I leave up to your interpretation. But yeah, I think just in case, I'm going to go burn another bay leaf or 2, just to make sure. But yeah, we'll see how this recording turns out. This little flickering issue has never happened before. I've taken a couple of pick a pile videos and I deleted the ones I wasn't happy with, but I have never had this flickering issue before, and I'm pretty sure my lights don't flicker either, so this would be the first time. This is not like a commonplace glitch, but if it keeps happening, maybe, I don't know, it could just be my phone. And the deletion thing is probably just me being silly. I made a careless mistake, but it still doesn't totally make sense. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I said the word fairy one too many times. But anyway, I will leave this reading here, pile 2. Thank you so much for your patience and for listening to me bleh all of that onto you. I've never had any kind of potentially paranormal experience, so this has been interesting. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it brought you some clarity and insight and was a pick-me-up for you if you've had a bad day. I hope you'll come visit me again for another reading sometime, but until then, I'm wishing you all the best, all the good things. Stay safe and take care. Bye! Hi Pile 3! Welcome to your reading. This is for everyone who chose the light green cream soda star. When I first said cream soda, I was thinking of Japanese cream soda. I did not realize that Western cream soda was not slime green. I'm sorry if that caused any confusion when you were picking piles. But yeah, let's just get started. So I have some cards that have been pre-shuffled here. This one's going to tell me the main idea, the TLDR, of what people really like about you. And these cards are going to be all the juicy details. So yeah. For our main idea card, we have the Sun.
Oh. We also have Eight of Swords. Strength in reverse. Justice in reverse. Queen of Wands in reverse. And Temperance. Put that under here. We also have Fire. Eight of Wands in reverse. The Emperor in reverse. And Three of Cups upright. So, you can't see it on camera, but suddenly my right hip has started hurting. So pile 3, completely unrelated, and I don't mean to scare you, but watch out for any hip injuries upcoming. Just be careful about where you're walking in case you might run into something. But anyway, oh, okay. Pile 3, you guys are so cute. You're cute on the outside and you're cute on the inside. You're freaking adorable. I don't mean that in a patronizing or condescending way. Like, you guys are just so attractive, like the literal sun. Let me show you this card, actually. It's pretty funny. I love how the artist drew this. I also like that the sun actually has a little body here. I thought it was just a disembodied glowing ball in the sky, but it almost looks like it's even giving you a little thumbs up, like, yeah! And we've also got a lion here because Leo. Oh, on the topic of Leo, let me do signs. So we do have very strong Leo energy in this pile, so you could be a Leo, or you may have Leo placements in your chart. Leo rules the sun. Leo also rules strength. And we also have the fire card here. This is just a really fiery pile in general. We also have the Queen of Wands, which is fire. The Emperor would be Aries, I think. Temperance is Sagittarius, so all fire signs are heavily in play. We do also have Swords and Cups, so you could also have some air sign influences or water sign influences in your chart. So that would be Aquarius, Gemini, Libra, and Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer. And yeah, with Justice, we also have strong Libra energies here. So you may have Libra in your chart as well, or you could be a Libra. But your star chart does not have to be oriented in any kind of certain way for you to be able to resonate with this pile, because you picked it for a reason, right? But yeah, pile 3, people adore you. You're so funny and bright and really smart, but also like really warm and wholesome. I get a genuinely wholesome vibe from this pile. And oh my gosh, did you guys hear that person speeding down the highway just now? Is that you? Need for speed. Gotta go fast. So let me also say that these cards are from the perspective of people looking in at you, so they may not necessarily be a reflection of the way that you see yourself. And with this Eight of Swords here, I do think that there's some of that, like when people see you, they think like, oh, I wish this person knew how awesome they were, or I wish this person could see what I see in them, because they love you, pile 3. They adore you, they love you, they just love having you around. This Three of Cups suggests to me that you're always invited to the party. They're like, yeah, we have to invite pile 3 to the party, or else it's just not the same without you. And with this Emperor in reverse and Temperance, I know we have a lot of fire here, and sometimes that can lend itself to like doing before thinking and a bit of impulsiveness, but I do think that you guys, relatively speaking, are grounded, and that people feel very safe when they're with you, that you're bright and you're fun and you're just a ball of sunshine, but you're also not someone who is overwhelming or overbearing. I think in this context, I would read the Emperor in reverse it's kind of like you're in King energy, right? I said that you might be Leo, you know, King of the Jungle, the Lion, but it sounds to me like your kingdom is open. Or like, say you live in a metaphorical castle, but you keep all of your front doors open. You don't have like an alligator moat surrounding it. People are allowed to come and go as they please. And people appreciate that you seem to be really approachable and fun. And they also appreciate that when they get excited about things, you get excited about the same things. Or vice versa, when you get excited about things, it excites them about things, especially when it comes to areas of creativity and productivity and like passions and hobbies and things that you guys like doing. And I certainly think with this Temperance card here as well, there's just lots of different messages coming through, but Temperance lets me know that you're definitely something special, pile 3, or that people see you as something truly special and just not any sort of run-of-the-mill rando on the street. People love that you have a set of principles. They love that you stick to your morals, and they think it's very cool that you will call people out on their bullshit, but not in a way that asserts like superiority, if that makes sense. Like, you know how some people will just kind of pretend to be all like high and mighty, but it's really just like a show of ego and like posturing themselves. Sometimes it can be difficult to tell, but what I mean is that when people look at you, they see someone who truly does give a shit about what they are talking about or preaching about or venting about. And I just heard that they want to give you a big hug too. So another way to interpret justice in reverse could be like, not only do you stand for your principles, but you stand up for other people as well. And I think that has meant more to them than you may have been aware of. Fun. I keep hearing fun. Funny, fun. You may also like noodles, like tal fun, fried noodles or fried rice noodles, but that's a very specific message. I also get that with this Eight of Swords card here, that you have your insecurities and struggles just like everyone else does, just like we all do. But paired with this Queen of Wands, it's like people see you as someone who does have self-respect in a way, does and doesn't, which makes sense. I mean, we have insecurities in some areas, and then other areas where we just know that, you know, we're not going to put up with that. We're not going to waste our time on this. We're not going to like let this bad influence into our lives, or let this one little thing that happened ruin our day. And that Eight of Wands in reverse is right under Strength in reverse. People like chilling with you. They like winding down with you. And it's funny because there's so much fire in this chart, in this read. It's like people can party really hard with you, but they can also wind down and rest with you and just chill and relax and not feel like they're being pressured to put on some sort of front, which is a message that came up in another pile too. I do think that when people hang out with you, they feel better about themselves in some sort of way. Maybe because like you're so bright and supportive and encouraging, particularly when it comes to their creative pursuits. I also just heard with this fire card that you're comforting in the same way a warm fireplace would be, which came up in another pile too, actually. I think it was pile 2. So if you guys were drawn to that one too, it might be worth checking out. I also just heard Taekwondo. Some of you may find a lot of catharsis if you practice martial arts. That feels like a very specific message, so don't worry if it doesn't resonate. But in general, I think athleticism may be one of your major outlets for like keeping yourself in tip-top shape, both physically and mentally. Exercise is really good for you. It releases endorphins and it makes you feel good. It helps you feel good in all areas. So that may be one big thing that you participate in. I also just heard burn baby burn, da, 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 da. So maybe dancing is something that you could also be interested in. Maybe you guys like disco. These cards are remarkably straightforward. I feel like you guys are very open. And it's not to say that you aren't a complex person with all sorts of thoughts and opinions, but I feel like when people talk to you for the first time or are like meeting you at a party or gathering or something and they're just, you know, getting to know you and talking to you, that it's easy for them to feel like they know you. It's not like know you, but in the sense that it's like you keep your door open. You keep your doors open and opportunities open, and it feels like you're very welcoming of anyone new into your life, that you're just really open to having new relationships and new connections walking into your life. I also just heard fashionista, so you may have like fire fits with this fire card, which could be one reason why people are drawn to you. Also with this sun card, I just heard like moths to the flame, so maybe you guys are just social butterflies and it's not really difficult for you to make new friends because you're just so warm and grounded and like really reasonable. Not really the type to start a fight unless you have to lay down the law and do and have a mic drop moment. Yeah, the energy of this pile is remarkably balanced. And pile 3, I want to be friends with you guys. You seem really fun. We should like get a beer together or something sometime. Unless you don't drink, in which case we could go to like a tea house or a cute bakery or McDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba, not sponsored. I'm looking for more to read here, but I think that is just about it. With this fire card, I do think a lot of people find you to be pretty hot, pile 3. Like you look good. You look chef kiss. I also just heard immaculate, so you guys may be really on top of your hygiene, really on top of, I don't know, like just being well well maintained, well groomed. Some people may think that you're high maintenance, which like doesn't surprise me because like I think Leos are often kind of misunderstood for being like high maintenance and vain, and like I guess like at the worst like really toxic Leos that might be true, but I don't think there has to be any shame with putting effort into the way that you look and effort into taking care of yourself, taking care of your body, taking care of your hair, your nails, showering regular. I don't know, like everything that you do as part of your normal daily routine, like it's staying moisturized and unbothered. Yeah, I think I'm gonna finish up your tarot cards here and we can get into oracles. But in summary, pile 3, I'm sorry if this video was like a little bit shorter than the others, but it's just so warm and straightforward and supportive and just a really good feel. You guys are really, really fun, and I would love to meet you someday and be friends. But until then, I will leave you with the message that, like, you guys remind me of that one meme of that dude in a pool that's like something like unbothered, moisturized, living, thriving. Of course, you don't have to look like that guy, but it's just when people see you, they see that kind of thriving energy. I also admittedly get a slightly more masculine vibe from these cards. You don't have to be a guy or identify as a guy, but there's something very, yeah, masculine about these cards. Something about like masculine ideals, not toxic masculinity, but traits that are like, that might be antiquatedly associated with great role models for masculinity. Things like courage and hope and integrity, openness, warmth, some keywords that popped into my head as I was thinking about this. Yeah, people really respect that you have a strong sense of integrity in the way that you carry yourself. And they know that if they mess with you, pile 3, then they're getting the boot. They're gonna get kicked out of your castle, kicked out of your kingdom, smited by the sword of justice. But yeah, pile 3, I think that's all I am seeing for your tarot cards. And so let's move on to oracles. I feel like your vibe really comes through in this 3 of Cups card, this like community, communal, oh sorry, not communal, communal. I thought it was communal for the longest time, and then someone finally corrected me like, Ocean, it's communal, like a community. And I was like, oh, English. Okay, I think I'll keep out the Sun card. Get Temperance from you as well. Alright, which one do we start with? I started with this deck, the OK Shoe Oracle, or the OK Oracle in the last 2 piles. So actually, yeah, I'm gonna start with the Begin deck by Stacy Jane this time. What else do people love about pile 3? Nourish. Aww. Are these your cards? I feel like this is your card, but this is not. Okay. Oh, put that back. We have Nourish and Guides. Interesting. And then I'll pull a couple of oracles from, a couple of cards from this deck. 3. With this Guides card, some people may feel like that they're so thankful that they to know you and to have them in their lives that they almost feel like they were divinely guided to you, or like the universe led them to you. It just feels like such a warm and happy and magical and caring relationship to them. Oh, sitting still, balance, teeter, and shift. Can you guys see that? Let me arrange these. Oh, and on the bottom of the deck we have Amplify. Ooh, yeah, Amplify reminds me of the fire card that we just had. I think I said something like that your excitement is very infectious and it amplifies other people's excitement, or that you play off of each other. All right, let me get these arranged nice and in line with the camera. Was it out of focus the entire time?
No, pile 3.
Okay, well, I will finish reading these oracles and then I guess I will go back and refocus it. I'm so sorry. Ah! Okay, so with the sitting still card, I feel like a lot of people when they're with you, you tend to quiet their mind. Like you get excited together with them and you can work on your passions together. But also there's something very calming and soothing about you guys, and I think the Three of Cups corroborates that. I also think that sitting still could be saying that not only do you help to quiet the mind, but you like just being with you, it's like being with you puts people in a state of mindfulness, or it like keeps them in the moment when if they've got like a lot going on or a lot of worries, that you just pull them right back to the present. And that's wonderful, pile 3. I also think that you put quite a lot of effort into maintaining your relationships, and like it's almost like maintaining a garden. You make sure everything is properly watered and it's getting enough sun, has enough soil, has been like fertilized properly. You know, you care for like the little leaves. If there are any leaves that need to be removed, you get those removed. With this balance teeter shift card, that feels very temperance to me as well. I've sometimes heard temperance described as not necessarily inert equilibrium. It's more like it's equilibrium or a balance of two very, it's like the equilibrium of extremes, or it's like you imagine like a professional wrestler's tug of war where a lot of force is being exerted on both sides, but it just happens to be almost exactly the same force being exerted. And in that sense, that balance teeter shift card is like that, those two extremes in balance at once. So for some of you pile 3s, this could mean that when your friends see you or when other people see you, they feel like you're juggling quite a lot already, that you guys may be going through a lot, or that you just have a lot on your plate to juggle and you're killing it at managing everything that you have to do while still staying mentally grounded and healthy. For others, I just heard this like little curved line. For some reason, it looks like the roof of a house to me, and then I was called to think about some sort of earthquake. So I don't know, to take that as it resonates, but I do think that it's almost like I just heard quaking. Pile 3, like you leave people feeling I don't want to say shooketh. Quaking in their boots. Just like you shook their world when you came to them, or when they first met you, and that's super sweet. And I think I also just heard like tango. So going, back to the whole dancing thing, maybe that's something that you're into. But in this context, I think it's like people are saying, yeah, I'd fuck with pile 3. I like their energy. I want to be friends with them. I feel like pile 3 and I can like play off of each other's energy and just have quite a lot of fun, like balance teeter shift. It makes me think of like some sort of equal exchange or fair exchange, not necessarily in a commercial kind of way, but just in a really good relationship where you get just as much as you put out. And yeah, so I think this is all I'm seeing. So pile 3, I will end your reading by getting the booklet for Nourish and Guides. Some affirmations and advice for you. Nourish is 7. Ooh, lucky 7. Oh, I think we had a lot of 7s in another pile too. So yeah, if you felt drawn to multiple piles, it might be cool to watch another one if you haven't already. Alright, 7, Nourish. Journey, family, hard work, will, broad view, destination, and purpose. Season is winter. Astrological association is Capricorn, so you may have Capricorn in your chart or notable Capricorn placements. There can't be any skipped steps when you're tending to yourself and your well-being. You deserve and need nourishment. So what nourishes you? After all, you can't ask for support if you don't know what you need. This may be a time of intense obligation. Above all, put yourself first, even if it's just in small moments. By nourishing yourself, you'll be able to nourish your family and friends. Yeah, I think pile 3, you guys take really good care of yourselves, even if, you may not be like at 100%, because like who is at 100% all the time? It's impossible. But that, relatively speaking, I think you give quite a lot to yourself, and in that way, like, it's because you do so that you're able to give so much to other people. And I'm getting a lot of gratitude in this pile as well. Yeah, this was, if you guys felt drawn to pile 2, maybe check out pile 2. You don't have to though if you didn't feel anything from it.
Nourishment is taking small steps to set yourself up to thrive. This may feel mundane and slow moving, but you're taking the time to create a firm foundation from which you'll be able to flourish. If you've been feeling like you're not moving forward, just remember you are. That's right, yeah. Even plateauing and like times of, for example, creative block are just like you have to be in a creative block in order for there to be an explosive breakthrough, as there have been so many times in history. You know what I mean? What idea has been brewing within you? Give it space and love to grow right now. Say it out loud. Your contributions are needed, not just for you, but for those around you. When others see you create, grow, and thrive, big fire card energy, it allows them to do the same. Wait, what was I just saying? Have you been wanting to paint, write, take a dance class, learn something new? Make space and do it. This doesn't have to be a serious project or anything that has an end goal. This card is asking you to try something. In doing so, you nourish yourself. Let your inspiration come from within you. It's there, it just needs a little attention to blossom. Very cool. Given this description from the book, I also think that other people are, I mean, I'm pretty sure you're already well aware of this, but like they're rooting for you. They definitely want to see you succeed. They want to see you, like with that fire card, it's like creativity and passion and like putting out creative projects and ideas. If you have a little baby project that you've been thinking about, like you can bet your bones that your friends and fam and like loved ones are supporting you. Pile 3. And when I say family, I don't necessarily mean like blood family. I mean your chosen family. So I know we don't always have supportive parents or supportive fam, which is too bad, but I can definitely say that you've got support, not only from your 3D loved ones, but I think also from your guides. What's this card here? I'm particularly drawn to look at these cute little skulls on this character's shirt. Let me show you. Happy Halloween! Yeah, for some reason, like, these skulls are kind of cute to me, and they're like, hey, we support you too! We support you too! Little crowd of skulls. Okay. Next, I will read 44 guides. Luck, having an open heart. Yeah, an open heart, an open castle, pile 3. Accepting self, recognizing your truth, rejecting cultural expectations, learning from others, and having hope. Amazonite was used throughout many ancient cultures, including ancient Egypt. It was found in King Tut's tomb, and even a portion of the Book of the Dead was inscribed on an Amazonite tablet. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. If not, please correct me. But it was also said that female Amazon warriors used Amazonite to adorn their shields and as powerful healing amulets. It has been a revered guide, and now it has come to you. Known as the Stone of Truth, you're being offered a clarity to perceive truth, especially truths about yourself. You'll be able to gain a better or new understanding of what you offer the world. There is a piece of this understanding that will come through emotional healing. Know that in going through past emotions, you'll be able to maintain your equilibrium and see things as if they're new. With this expanded perspective, you're giving your body space to regenerate and form new responses, even to the most lingering thoughts and patterns. Another blessing you're being given is courage. Your personal power is bigger and stronger than you think. Your guides are already with you. They're your experiences, your memories, your thoughts. You are strong, resilient, and you light up the room. You have a fierce heart. Embrace it. I love that, especially with this little, I think it's a tiger behind this character. Okay, let's see. This card comes with an affirmation. Okay, so 44 doesn't have an affirmation, but it does have a prompt. Spend some time thinking about who and what guides you. If you're not sure where to begin, remember that anything can be a guide. What places, people, books, plants, stones, or music are you drawn to? Start there. If you have a good relationship with family, exploring your family tree may also help you connect with guides. So I will leave that up to you, pile 3, because I know we all believe in different things. And spirituality is very diverse and personal. Okay, let me go back to 7, because I think I forgot to read the, affirmation. Affirmation for Nourish. I am the love I need. I fulfill myself. And I think that is definitely coming from like a place of how people see you, in the sense that there's something about the way you carry yourself makes people feel like, you know, this is someone who loves and respects themselves, and you can just see it in the way that you carry yourself, pile 3. Not saying that like you feel that way all the time, because I think we all have our own struggles and insecurities, but this is definitely how other people see you, and I think that you've been a pretty big inspiration to them, especially with that fire card from earlier. So I think that's a similar message to a different pile as well. But yeah, pile 3, I think I will leave your reading here. Thank you so much for letting me read your cards and for supporting my little baby channel in its infancy. If you enjoyed this reading and it resonated, I would love to hear how in the comments below. And I hope you'll come back to visit for another reading sometime. But until then, I am wishing you all the best. Stay safe, take care, bye! Hi pile 4! Welcome to your reading. This is for anyone who chose the light blue star. I did switch out your candle just because it felt right. So yeah, let's get to your cards. So these mint cards and purple cards are going to give me the main details of your reading, and this blue card is going to be like the main idea and the TLDR, like the big picture card. So for your big picture card, we have the Empress in reverse. We also have 8 of Cups. Ooh. King of Wands in reverse. Knight of Wands upright. The Sun. Wheel of Fortune upright. Capricorn in reverse. Queen of Swords upright. 2 of Coins upright. And the Queen of Cups in reverse. Alright, pile 4. You guys don't like boxes, do you? When I put the Empress down, I heard no boxes, no boxes. Boxes in the sense that you hate when people put expectations onto you or try to define you based on how you look, or based on how you carry yourself, or based on how they perceive you. I do get a fierceness from this pile in a way. Like, why do I have to act a certain way just because someone thinks that I should? Or like, why do I have to follow the status quo and be like everybody else? And I don't get the vibe that you guys are contrarian per se. I think you guys are just maybe seen as contrarian because you don't necessarily believe that you have to follow any other path other than your own in terms of like cultivating your identity or growing into yourself and becoming who you want to be, even if that may not necessarily mesh with what people think of you. And I feel like a lot of people see you as very attractive because of that unwillingness to compromise who you are just so you can blend in with everyone else. Or maybe like avoid a headache from someone who like wants to tell you how things should be done or how you should be or like what you need to do. Yeah, the vibe of this pile is quite different from the other piles that we've gotten in this reading. I do think that you guys are sort of savage in a way. And that, don't make no mistake, like people really like that about you, that you are unabashedly speaking your own truth. Oh, that did come up in another pile, but this feels a little bit different. Like, there's a little bit of saltiness here. But it's not necessary, it's not in a bad way either. Like, pile 4, your energy kind of reminds me of that one Homer Simpson meme. Like where he's holding a baseball bat and he's like, the strong must protect the sweet. These cards here are telling me how other people see you, so it may not necessarily be a reflection of who you are on the inside. And it's kind of ironic because I went on about like, you know, that about people putting you into boxes or like trying to profile you. But the people who see you, at least in these cards, I do think recognize that you go against the grain, not because, just not for the sake of going against the grain, but because it's like who you are, and you're like, what's wrong with me? There's nothing wrong with me. I'm just me. I'm just unabashedly me. And that is so, so attractive. Like, that kind of confidence is so magnetic and charming. I do think that there are a lot of people out there who, you know, don't take this the wrong way. Like, these are not, like, there are some people out there who find you to be, like, too loud or annoying, but those are not people that you need to give a shit about. I think it's sort of a compliment to you that these people are talking shit, if that makes sense. Yeah, take this as it resonates, pile 4, but I think you guys can fight. Like, I almost feel like you'll do anything, almost anything, to protect your chosen family and friends and loved ones from harm, because I think you know what it's like to get hurt and know what it's like to have been stepped on when you didn't deserve it. Yeah, I would bet, I would wager that a lot of my pile 4s have experienced bullying, and as you guys grew, you grew into someone who never wanted that to happen to anyone else, or like, if you could stop it, you definitely would, or if you could call it out, you definitely will, if you have the energy. And you do have you are quite the fireball at times with this sun card here. Yeah, earlier when I said like there are some, you know, don't worry about them, some people who do find you like to be insufferable, that may be because you're so outspoken and you have those mic drop moments and they don't necessarily know how to handle that, or like that you, when you call people out on their bullshit, sometimes you force them to confront things that they don't like about themselves, and these people like are not your friends, and are people that you would never be friends with in the first place. But there are people who see that, and you know, on the one hand, like your words have upset some randos, but other people really respect you for standing up for yourself and for standing up for others, and I think that is super cool. These two cards here, especially with the King and the Knight of Wands, for some reason I sort of see you as this brave knight, and Wands is fire, so I'll get into the signs in a moment. But the King of Wands can sometimes occasionally refer to narcissists. It could refer to like fuckboys, anyone who's sort of self-obsessed and egotistical. It doesn't have to, though. This can, like, reversals do not always have to mean negative things, but this would be one of the cards if there was like someone that you had to worry about, or someone that someone had was like ugh, like red flags everywhere. This would be one of the cards that could possibly indicate that, depending on the cards that pop up surrounding it. And the fact that the Eight of Cups is like, what's backing this King of Wands here is this Eight of Cups, which is the, you could say it's the card of loss, the card of sad and bitter endings. But behind this Knight, you've got the fucking Sun. And the Wheel of Fortune. I just heard a hair's breadth, so I'm not totally sure how to describe that. Maybe there was some sort of situation where you took up arms, not literally, not necessarily literally, and that you managed to sort of escape like just in time, or that it's like there's something that happened where some dumb luck really helped you guys out, or where like some sort of seeming happenstance really turned the tables in your favor. And so yeah, if I just move this over here a little bit, it's like, I also kind of get that you've killed people with kindness before. That, you know, I know I was talking about like throwing punches earlier, and maybe people have like joked about your protective nature before in a loving way, like that your friends feel so safe around you because they're like, Pile 4 will protect me from evil, and you're like, fuck yeah I will, hell yeah I will. But the Sun can often mean authenticity, truth, joy, happiness, kindness. And I don't know, it can refer to fleeting happiness, but I think it also refers to a more powerful sense of contentment, of, I don't know if self-actualization is included in that, but that's what I'm hearing in this pile, that you guys have done a shit ton of work on yourselves, and it really is like you've got the sun behind your back. So in a sense, it's almost like blinding, and some people can't handle that. Pile 4, I wonder if some of you would consider yourself to have radical beliefs or be involved in some sort of vein of activism, because I don't know, there's just something kind of militaristic about this Knight of Wands, and with the sun behind it, it's like metaphorically taking up arms for a cause that you care about, for a person that you care about, or that people see you as someone who, I just heard Robin Hood, the old-timey classical story of someone who steals from the rich and gives to the poor. I'm not saying that you guys do that, but there is this sense of heroism here, and it feels very loud and active and like mobilizing. There may be a cause that you're fighting for right now. We don't have the Seven of Wands here, which would be a big indicator for that. But yeah, I think sometimes people will look to you, Pile 4, and they'll think like, wow, Pile 4 is so brave and like such a role model to me, and I hope that I can also learn to speak my truth just like Pile 4. They've really encouraged me to be more brave, and a little bit more daring in my own life without like trying to constantly people please, especially with this Queen of Cups in reverse here, where like I feel like you have sort of, I don't want to say rehabbed, I think you have sometimes like, to put it one way, I think you have modeled certain kinds of behaviors in front of people who struggle with people-pleasing issues, and through that, they've been able to learn quite a lot from you about like how they can protect themselves as well. Oh, I get a strong protector energy from pile 4. It's really sweet. Before I forget, let me do signs. So there's no sign associated with the Empress, but Venus rules the Empress, so that would be associated with, I think, Libra and Taurus. So you may have those influences in your chart. We do also have the Sun, which would be Leo. We've had a lot of Leo in these piles, which is really interesting, but I like the Sun a lot. It's good to see. Wands are also fire in general, so Aries, Sagittarius, and Leo together, especially Leo though with this majors here. I don't think the Wheel of Fortune has a sign associated with it. We do also have, of course, Capricorn right here. So you may be a Capricorn. You may have a lot of Capricorn or notable placements, cap placements in your chart. And I've sometimes heard that Capricorn has a bit of a, how to word it, like kind of a crazy streak or kind of a... Actually, Caps can be a little bit contrarian sometimes. I feel like I should flip this. I feel like this should be upright, not in reverse, even though it came out in reverse. Yeah, wands, cups, swords. Oh, we also have coins. Okay, so all signs are in play, but especially Leo, possibly Libra and Taurus, a Capricorn. I'm also getting Aquarius energy from this pile, which makes sense because I think archetypal Aquarius energy is like, you know, bucking against the status quo, bucking against boxes, no boxes. Some of you may even be gender nonconforming. Because with this Empress in reverse, there's something about this Empress card in this particular pile that kind of calls me to think about gender roles. So, you know, even if you're not like a revolutionary, this could also be something like, for example, pile 4, if you are a woman, like, I don't know about you, but I was definitely raised to be like, oh, you know, you have to be a good housewife. You have to know how to cook and clean because you're a woman, not because they're valuable life skills that help you to live a more functional and healthy life. And to me, that's really frustrating because I think these kinds of skills should be taught to everybody, irrespective of, you know, their identity or where they come from, because they're just really good skills to have. But yeah, I also see with this 2 of coins here that I think some people may feel like they're almost like a little bit scared to bother you or knock on your door, even though they really want to. Because they're like, oh, pile 4 is so cool, but they're always, I bet they're really busy and they don't have time for me. Which is not true. Like, you definitely make time for the people that you care about. But I also think that sometimes people... I wonder if sometimes people even put you on a pedestal a little bit, pile 4. I wouldn't be surprised if you guys are rather affluent or like possibly famous or some sort of celebrity with a platform, because people see you and they think like, how does pile 4 get so much done in their day-to-day? Like, how does pile 4 manage all of that stuff? Like, are they superhuman or something? And the reality may be that you guys just take on more than you can chew, and that doesn't always end well. I don't know, because these cards are only telling me how people see you. I might draw like another card for that, actually. Or we can look into it in the oracles that I'll draw in a little bit and see if anything else comes up. This was meant to be an encouraging and uplifting read, but I feel like I do need to say, pile 4, that I know you've been through a lot already, and I think there's a lot of growing that you've already done. I just want to put out a warning, not for you necessarily, but to watch out if you meet someone who seems reasonably trustworthy, but that this person gets excited over your lack of experience. Please be very careful about that. Or like if someone seems very eager to like either work with you or, you know, get down with you because you're inexperienced, or because there may be some sort of like blind spot, or, you know, because like we're not all like experts in literally everything. We only know what we've learned. I feel like there's going to be some sort of I'm sorry, this is supposed to be happy, but yeah, I feel like pile 4, someone's going to be trying to like worm their way in. I mostly get that vibe from this Queen of Cups in reverse. Yeah, watch out for people who think that your vulnerability is very attractive. And when I say vulnerability, I mean like vulnerability that lends itself to exploitation. I definitely don't mean like, you know, because you're so raw or real and you keep it real with people and like people really admire that you can be so open, for example, about things that you struggle with, or like long thoughts that you have about, for example, like what's wrong with our society today and like how we could better, I guess, like restructure our infrastructure so that fewer people. I'm sorry, this is a little bit. It's like I'm trying to verbally release like a very dense web of knowledge, and it's kind of hard. But basically, I think Pile 4, you guys are rather oriented towards like how we can make the world a better place, because there are like so many different avenues that need attention and work. That may be why you guys are so busy, because there's like, to you may feel like there's a lot to do. I'm not totally sure. I also just heard Instagram. So that okay. So it's normal for cars to be passing by, but I'm sure you guys heard that and the mic caught that. And like I've had to like repeat myself a couple of times because I've had cars interrupt me quite a lot over the past couple of minutes. I almost wonder if this would be patronizing to suggest, but Pile 4, be careful about stepping into a car with someone that you just met. I don't say this to like, I don't mean to scare you. I also kind of feel like with this, because the Queen of Cups is quite intuitive, but sometimes like just be very careful about putting yourself in vulnerable situations. I don't say this to like inspire distrust in like, I don't want you to like suspect your closest friends. That's not what I mean. I just feel like it's this very specific one. It's coming from like one direction, like one vector, one person that is kind of having me a little bit on edge. If this doesn't resonate at all, then please don't worry about it, Pile 4. But if like, there will definitely be signs, so please don't ignore them if they come up. And if this does resonate, then I'm sure that you guys already know who I'm talking about. So please do be careful. I don't get the vibe that, even though we have 8 of Cups here, I don't get the vibe that this is necessarily a relationship that needs to end. But like, because like this could be a business partner or someone who, you know, wants you to like work for exposure, or maybe someone is like paying you to, I don't know if you guys are writers. I wouldn't be surprised if you are. Like, say someone is like paying you to write a column for their publication or something, and maybe you like won't get paid or something, and they'll be like, oh, it was just for exposure. Yeah, why am I getting such a ugh, it's like kind of a sleazy energy, I'm not gonna lie. Just very, something that doesn't, something or someone that doesn't really have your best interests in mind. I guess like, I wish it weren't par for the course for people who are outspoken, but I think it just inevitably will, you know, like, you're the disruptor of the status quo, and some people aren't necessarily ready to accept your ideas or to give you the voice that you deserve in the way that you deserve, whether it's like monetary compensation or I also just heard dissertation, which makes sense because I was like, I saw some sort of like long paper, long essay, article, publication. Maybe you guys are writers. Some of you could be grad students pursuing your master's or your PhD in something. Oh, this could be a colleague there. I'll say this. This energy doesn't feel extremely dangerous to me, but it does feel kind of icky. Like I wanna like take you guys and like be like, yeah, no, they're with me, you know, just here, let's go. Let's go get a beer or something, or like hot chocolate if you don't drink. So I didn't do this with the other piles, but I think I'm gonna draw like an extra card or two because I feel like just something is missing here, but I don't know what. So okay, don't mind me. I'm just gonna make some space, some new cards, and then I think I'll go ahead and draw some oracles, but I will also, I guess I should put these away. Well, no. I didn't use this deck in the other piles, but that's okay. This feels right. Spirit, what am I missing here? Something's off. Oh. So pile 4, these cards do tell me how people see you. I kind of wonder, like, a lot of you may struggle with depression. That may be something that is, like like there's so much praise, and there's also like a tinge of like, you know, I wish things weren't so hard for pile 4. I don't know how pile 4 gets all of this done given what they're going through right now, or given what they've been through. Spirit, what am I missing? Oh, okay. Igloo. I'm gonna draw one more card, actually. Oh! Are these your cards? I think this bottom one is your card for some reason. Yeah, okay. Rough ice. Ooh, okay. So I'll say this. So this Aurora Tarot focuses on the beauty of the Arctic and has many, it's just a really nice deck. But this card is Igloo, and this card is Rough Ice. And this combination suggests to me that people love it so much that, like, again, with like the protection thing that I was talking about earlier, I would say Igloo is a good confirmation of that, where like it's freezing cold outside. It's like gosh knows how many degrees below zero. And you provide a space for these people in which, you know, your friends, chosen family, in which they feel safe, warm, protected, loved, nourished, like almost like a home away from home when they are with you. And this rough ice is kind of like an obstacle, a barrier, something that is very difficult to overcome. I just heard the word stuck. So, okay. So, my impression has changed a little bit. So I think a lot of you who are, you know, that person I was warning you about, I think a lot of you guys are already aware of this person who is just kind of makes me tongue-tied. I feel like normally you're quite the outspoken person, but around this person, like this particular icky person, you're just like, yeah, because it may not be an option. That I think that some of my pile 4s may just be doing what you can to stay safe right now and to protect those around you, because life is complicated. We don't always have the luxury of like escaping negative situations. This could certainly be something at work. It could also be colleagues in academia, some sort of like work politics bullshit that you guys just kind of have to deal with. Maybe this rough ice is a financial barrier, but in general, this represents like an obstacle that's kind of difficult to overcome. You know, I guess you could kind of think of these as like mountains to climb. But I was also just shown the image of those two astronauts from like, oh, what was the name of the movie? Was it Intergalactic or something? Where they were like traveling to different planets, and then they mild spoilers if you haven't seen it. It's a pretty good movie. It's entertaining. I think Anne Hathaway was in it. I can't remember the other actors' names, but yeah, I'm really bad with like actor names. I'm good at remembering faces though. But anyway, Interstellar. I think Interstellar was the name, where they receive like a message, and it's like, yay, I've found a planet we can make our home, or something like that. But then there's like this tussle and ice, and there's like a Toy Story Buzz Lightyear versus Woody scene with like the button and the and the I'm gonna take that to metaphorically refer to some sort of work or colleague like tussle or like friction with someone that like you may not necessarily be able to get space away from right now. I think you guys are definitely like, oh, that makes more sense too with this King of Wands here. This could also be a present situation where like, I think the way others see you, this could be your coworkers' view of you, where they're like, pile 4, some of you are ruthless. I think some of you are like committed to moving into like a higher up position and replacing this asshole at the top. I think I get like a very resilient and persistent vibe from you guys. Take that as it resonates. That feels like something more specific for just like a couple of people. It's going to be a very specific situation and very specific warning. So yeah, if like no one came to mind when I put out a warning, pile 4, please don't worry too much. I really think that this was a message for people who already knew exactly who I was talking about, or like it will definitely be obvious if someone's coming in and like maybe they might seem normal, but then they're gonna drop hints and you're like, oh, you're shady, I need to keep my distance from you. And I think like the red flag that will tip you off, it could be any red flag, but I definitely feel like one of the red flags will be that they will kind of perk up when they hear that like, oh, you know, so you're new to this, oh, let me help you, which sounds friendly at first, but I'm like, I don't want to like make you guys suspect perfectly kind and, you know, people who are fine, but definitely trust your gut. Just trust your gut, because like someone with ulterior motives, or like someone who will like pretend to help you, and then like it's kind of like that situation where like, oh well, then you might feel like you owe them something, or like, or they might see like because right, these are looking in at you, that like whoever this person is, they may sort of see that as a reason to think that you owe them something, and that might be a little bit hairy. I do think that you guys are well equipped to handle this, though. There's something about Capricorn. Capricorns can sometimes be rather shrewd and clever, and another sea goats, but a little bit like foxes in the way they can sort of puppet string a situation. I think you guys have good intentions and a good vision for the future in terms of like the beliefs that you hold and the changes that you think should be made to like be more humane and just make this a better time for everyone involved, especially if you have like a shitty boss. But that's not going to apply to everybody, so take it as it resonates. But yeah, I think a lot of my pile fours would thrive as directors, and I think you would be good directors because like I get a very strong protector energy. I think you guys know that you would be good at that as well, or that you already have experience with some sort of management. I don't get a cold, soulless corporate feeling from this though. This feels like something more niche and indie, but it's hard to put my finger on what. It could be music related. It could also be like art and media related. I'm not sure. So if this resonates for you, let me know in the comments what this could be about. But I think I've said enough about that. And then I didn't mean to have that warning take over the entire reading. Whoops. But pile 4, you are very cool and your voice matters. And I think that you've already inspired a number of people with what you have chosen to put out there in terms of your words, or like, you know, speaking up, speaking your truth, even though you know that that will put a target on your back. And that's scary, but it's like you have been such a brave little trooper through all of that. And that there's also sort of this, like, people see you as having an unwavering commitment to your ideals, and like it's almost like you're not going to let the haters get you down. Yeah, I'm getting the word savage in my head again. Savage. Like, ooh, ooh, shots fired. Like that kind of savage, kind of like, I'm not totally sure what type of siren that is, but I will let that be. You know, if it's a synchronicity to you, that could be a synchronicity. Hope everything's okay. I had sirens appear in like a different reading too, but those aren't like, they're not all that commonplace where I live. So that's interesting. Yeah, pile 4, you guys are cool. I get like kind of a chill but intense vibe from you, and I think that actually you came up in a different pile too. I get a very, very, it's like you can be chill sometimes, but like the way people see you is like very, very intense. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, because like I think people who do find you intimidating, more often than not, that's just like an insecurity that they haven't worked through for themselves. Like, you know how some people will get insecure around some bright stars because they feel like, oh, you know, I don't measure up, therefore like, I don't know, it's like I feel like I'm not good enough to be around this person. But that's not true necessarily. And I think it's because of your dedication or intellectual intensity that you've been able to make it as far as you have. Yeah, this is definitely my fighter pile. It's like you're both a lover and a fighter, if that makes sense. Yeah, I don't encourage violence, but I think this is kind of more of a metaphorical violence. Oh, oops. Okay, interesting. I think I can leave this. Okay, so let's get some oracles. Oh, the wax melted. So now it's like kind of a deep red. It was like a gentle pink before. And I felt that could be cute. Just felt right and felt better to swap it out for this pile rather than use like that other white candle. Yeah, I feel called to recognize that, like that candle. Sometimes you are that like gentle, lovely pink, but then other times you're this fiery, passionate red who's like wax can burn people, you know, like who can roast people at a moment's notice almost. Oh, that card got yeeted. Measure home. This looks like a strip of bacon. Measure home. Pile 4. What else do people love about you, Pile 4? I just heard podcast, so going back to like the whole writing thing, maybe you write scripts for a podcast, maybe you host a podcast, which could be why you get in touch with a number of people who may or may not be like all that nice behind the scenes. I'm not sure. These are your cards. I don't think these are your cards. Oh, okay, root. I just heard root rot, which is a, if you don't have plants, it's like a term for like, kind of like when you overwater your plants. Sometimes like the soil can be so moist that the roots will get moldy if there's too much. Maybe in the sense that like if you do hold radical beliefs, this could be a confirmation that people definitely see you as someone who wants to like, I just heard burn it all down. Definitely someone who, it's like, to think of it one way, like if there's a very persistent weed infestation in your yard and you take some shears and you like, you know, you cut the weeds at the stem, that's not enough to like take down the infestation of weeds, right? Like it'll give it like 1 or 2 weeks or even like 3 days in full sun and you'll have like a problem on your hands again. I wonder if like people admire that like your approach to solving problems may be like addressing the root rot or like the problem at the roots. As for the measure home, let me show you this card. This kind of reminds me of a track and field. And with that, I just heard like, how far can they go? How far are they gonna go? Like I think people again like look at you in awe often and just think like, gosh, like the potential of pile 4, like how far are they gonna go? Like they've already come so far. They've already like made it. How much more do they want? Of course, that's a specific message for, you know, take it as it resonates. Most of us don't really feel like we have our shit together, even though we made like, maybe we look successful on the outside. But this is certainly a testament to the amount of progress that you've made, and the strides that you've taken, even though maybe they don't seem as big to you, but it's like other people are like, man, Pile 4 has like I could never imagine myself having the drive that Pile 4 does. Like, where do they get that energy from? Like, how long can they run and sprint? I feel like there's one more card in here. Let's get one more card. Here we go. Roll down. Roll down a hill. This might sound silly, but I think this is like, Pile 4, do you have some like silly friends or like really silly, fun, kind of like playful, childlike friends? Because like, for some reason I'm called to notice that this roll down kind of looks like, stay with me, it looks like a slippy slide. So, like, imagine if your friend was, like, right here, and they're like, wee! Like, why am I being shown this? It's like they roll down this hill like a ball, and as they continue to go down, it's like they continue to gain momentum as well. And it's like, it's really fun, it's like really fast, but I think that is also supposed to serve as a metaphor for like how you have helped other people improve themselves, or how you've helped other people, I guess, accelerate themselves on their own journey. I know this is like a really silly interpretation, but it's I don't, maybe it'll resonate with you more than I can see. I also sort of get like the idea of a roller coaster, like before like going all the way down, and it's almost like your force was all on this side of the roller coaster, and it's like you were like pushing the roller coaster up and then letting it fall down on its own, or letting it like start on its own, not fall down. You don't like literally push your friends down a hill, unless you live in a snowy area and you're like pushing them down like on a little, I don't know, pizza pan. I don't know what you guys use for like for snowy stuff. It sounds fun. Yeah, I just heard pile 4 is dope. In the sense that like maybe you guys have like hooked people up with certain opportunities or things that you felt like they would be a good fit for. I definitely feel like my pile 4s are like sort of radical and conscious in some sort of way. Oh, okay. Alright, are these your cards? I don't think so. Just one more card. Spirit, please. What else does pile 4? What else do people love about pile 4? Pile 4, I do get kind of a, not from like the way people see you, but like just like you as a person. I feel like you guys are, I think I did say shrewd earlier, and like I had like the puppet strings metaphor. The word that came to mind was calculated, but not necessarily in a bad way. I think you guys are rather careful in the way that you step forward, because maybe you're just in a position where you have to be rather delicate with your decisions, and I feel like those decisions are always backed by a certain kind of conscientiousness and like an intense focus for doing what is right. You guys are unique for sure. Yeah, there's kind of a composure about you guys. Not to say that like you guys don't struggle ever, but I think the image that you put out is quite composed, and even under like pressure. I also heard that you guys are pretty good with dealing with pressure, just because like I think the high stakes situations or relatively like stressful situations that you may encounter, whether it's like at your job or somewhere else, it's kind of like you've seen worse. You're like, I've seen it all. Like nothing can faze me. I've seen it all. I've done the work. Let me at it. This candle literally looks like Gatorade, or sorry, not Gatorade, Kool-Aid. Oh, okay. The bell. I don't think these are your cards. Blessings. Yeah, blessings to you. Invocation. Offering. I feel like this is your main card, though. I'm going to leave that out. I just heard saved by the bell. Maybe you are the bell pile 4. That people were saved by you. Yeah, and with this, this is a leopard, right? With this leopard about to pounce, I also get the feeling that you guys are like, very fierce. Or that you can be very fierce. It's like those videos on YouTube where like big cats videos where they're hunters, they're like the apex predator, but at the same time there are like videos of them being like meow and then like sitting in a box or something, just like a normal house cat. And I feel like that is low-key kind of representative of your energy too. I guess in the same way of like that Homer Simpson meme that I mentioned earlier, like the strong must protect the sweet, that like sometimes you've got a baseball bat and you're ready to tango. But other times you're just sitting at home chilling and watching TV and like just being a little, I just heard a little dummy. I'm not saying that you're a dummy. You're like the literal opposite. But I do think there's like some sort of vein of self-deprecating humor that you guys sink into when you're like with people that you trust or together with friends. It's just like a clown party, but in like a really fun, loving kind of way. Yeah, please don't take that the wrong way. I definitely do not think you guys are clowns. It's like a very sort of loving, endearing, like mutual kind of a self-deprecating joke. Like, yeah, we're all a mess. We're so messy. For some reason, I feel like that's all. Okay, that's the only oracle. Okay, so let me get the booklet for this, and I will end your reading, pile 4. Do some of you race or something? I don't know. Something to do with like cars. Maybe some of you are car mechanics or like work with vehicles. I'm not sure. I do get like there's like a car theme present here. I don't know. Maybe your toddler, if you have kids, like maybe they like Lightning McQueen. I don't know. But let me just read this bell and we can conclude this reading. If that car stuff does resonate, please let me know. I'm so curious. The bell. Fast change, being cracked open, following something larger, messages from the other side, leadership, spiritual learning, and lightning. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention earlier that like in like many spiritual circles, bells and like the sound of bells, like ding-ding-ding-ding, is used to, I think, ward evil spirits, or like used to kind of keep them away, keep them at bay. I've seen other practitioners and mediums like use a bell to like clear the space after they're done with a client. And so yeah, I think there's just something about you that negative energy is like, or not negative energy, but like negative people are, I just heard that negative people are allergic to you. Negative people are allergic to you because you won't put up with their bullshit. Wow. Okay. Let me keep reading. Oh, this isn't a leopard. I'm sorry. This is a jaguar. Are they different? I'm sorry, it's been a while since I read a little animal book, but lightning has struck and fast change is here now. You may feel you've been cracked open. There is a power to this card and your opportunity is to harness it. Jaguar will be your guide. As jaguars are adept at seeing at night, things that were hidden or unclear may be rising to the surface. You'll be able to see clearly what you need to do. Not only that, you've got the energy to do what needs to be done. Pile 4, what a badass. Having Jaguar as your guide gives you the ability to know what you need and do it. You're following something bigger than you may have realized, and your work is being asked to come out now. Any false illusions are falling rapidly, so just keep following your path. Yeah, like with that annoying person. I think eventually like the illusion that they're putting up for you, or like this illusion of helpfulness, I think that will eventually come to light. Any false illusions are falling rapidly, so just keep following your path. There is a spiritual aspect to this card, and even if you don't feel yourself to be a spiritual person, know that you're being sent messages from the world around you. Jaguar is leading and guiding you with purpose and strength. Affirmation: my life is constantly being made new. I welcome change. Prompt: spend some time over the next week thinking about what Jaguar means to you. How is Jaguar present in your life? Very cool, very interesting. I will leave it to you, Pile 4, to interpret those messages as you like. And for some reason, I feel like I'm still not done here, which is weird. I don't usually feel like this with readings. Usually I would just end it there. But if you don't mind, I'm going to keep drawing cards from this deck because I feel like I should draw 3 more? Okay. Okay, alright, let's do it. Oh, okay. Unpin the shadow. Oh. Shifted. Shifted. Pile 4, you guys aren't hitmen, are you? And give the space. Okay, I'm gonna make a little bit of space. Unpin the shadow, shifted, and give the space. I just heard, or not heard, I just saw the little Pixar light from their logo, the one that like bounces on all the letters. So maybe that resonates with you in some way. That could be a very specific message for someone. through. Ah, okay. At the bottom of the deck we have through. So, okay, earlier when I drew like the rough ice card and I was like, oh, okay, this doesn't feel like something that, this is like a tough situation that may not be budging, or like it's just really difficult. Maybe you're mired in bureaucratic nonsense. I just heard that the only way out is through though, so it sounds like this is something that you were quite committed to. I'm not totally sure what it could be, but there is definitely some sort of change that you wish to like shift within this existing power structure that you are within. This doesn't have to be at a job, but this does feel like some sort of, it's almost like, you know, there's a circle representing the situation and you're at the middle, in the middle, and you're like pulling strings and doing what you can within that circle. I'm sorry if this is super vague, but definitely with Unpin the Shadow, I just saw like, I do see kind of a corporate space, or like there's like a bulletin board, a cork board, and there's like a literal pin, and you're gonna like unpin this and like pull something off of that bulletin board that shouldn't have been on that bulletin board in the first place. And in doing so, you make more space for better things that should be on that bulletin board. It's almost like, this may not be like a literal bulletin board. I think this could also be some sort of forum. I just heard moderator, so maybe that could be relevant to you, but there is something about like decluttering garbage and making way for more like important, significant, meaningful voices within some sort of like space or community. I'm not totally sure. I definitely think with this shifted card that there's like certain power imbalances that are being like challenged or like slowly moved around, not like shattered in one day or one night, but shifted over time, kind of like tectonic plates on Earth. Oh, message of encouragement. Okay, yeah, pile 4, Spirit is sending you a message of encouragement. I'm not really totally sure what your endeavors could be. For some reason, I do feel like this involves equality in some way, and equality for all humans, and like very humane. I do feel like a big Aquarius energy from this vibe, or from this vibe, big Aquarius energy from this pile. I also just heard keep making space for the things that matter for you and keep clearing space for the people who matter. Wow. Yeah, I'm hearing that you guys have spirits to support with whatever you're doing, so I feel like I say this a lot, but I've just got some really bomb piles in this reading, and I hope that you guys, if you get a lot of hate for like speaking your truth, just know that people out there do see you and they support you and they feel inspired by you to also speak for their own truths. I do think that this pile, most likely the energy that I get is from marginalized communities. It does feel really collective, which makes sense. I mean, we are all on like different axes of intersectionality with respect to like the struggles that we face and the issues that we face. Pile 4, thank you for everything that you have done. Really, if your DMs are not filled with people who really appreciate you, they should be. And I'm also hearing that like, ooh, this is super specific. Yeah, Pile 4, who are you guys? I'm hearing that if you are part of a marginalized community and you've gotten death threats in your DMs before, then I just heard like that's proof that is absolute proof that you are on the right path and that you're doing the right thing to like stir things up, because those threats are coming from people who like are so, you know what, I'm not gonna waste my breath on them either. But yes, know that unpleasantries, that the haters are also confirmation for you, Pile 4, that you're doing the right thing. I heard that like it's sad that it has to be that way, or like it's sad that this is I just heard par for the course in a position of visibility, but that the work you do is really important, and that and Spirit says that like should you continue down this path, that they will support you and they offer you their protection as well. Yeah, this is the pile that makes people uncomfortable, but not necessarily in a bad way. Phew. I think this was my heaviest pile of in terms of like everything that you've been through, but the kind of light that you want to shine upon like the earth, and like shining light in little cracks and spaces where there should have been light but there wasn't light before. Whew. I'm gonna go make some tea. Do you want some, Pile 4? Would you like some chamomile tea if you're watching this before bed? Pile 4, thank you so much for letting me read your cards and for listening to all of that. I really appreciate you supporting this channel in its infancy. If you enjoyed this reading and it resonated with you, I would love to hear how in the comments below. I hope you'll come back for another reading sometime, but until then, I'm wishing you all the best. Stay safe, take care, bye!